I think one difficult element is to identify the problem itself. So saying that does it relate to the content of the subject? Does it relate to the student skills? So is it worth exploring this problem by formulating a question and then collecting data? So they might struggle on fighting this initial problem. So then probably having some inspiration by others could help. This another difficulty is how they actually base their inquiry. Is it based like on cognitive factors? They have seen something from some data. Is it based on their beliefs, like that I believe that this is not going to work because I have experience? Or is it based on their school culture? Let's say, like, for example, they have seen this or they discuss it with the school principal or like with informal discussion with other teachers. After having many years of experience, like let's say 20 years of teaching experience, you might do the same thing and you observe the same thing in the classroom, but you might have something in mind. Okay, this doesn't work for me, but it is based on some like probably belief or probably just observation. You don't really have some evidence to prove that it doesn't work. Towards going to a more data informed way, you might be able to derive to some conclusions based on data. Of course, another difficulty is the feasibility to collect the data. For example, would they have enough time to do that? Is it possible with the resources they have to do it? So I think these three issues are quite important. Of course, the experience is very valuable, of course. And also, even if a teacher have data, it doesn't mean that it will take a decision only based on the data. It will be complementary, this approach. So it might be based 50% on the experience and 50% on something that has found in the data. It could be quite relevant when teachers introduce something new, like let's say innovative. Let's say even today, introducing a collaborative task in the classroom could be something new. In fact, from the study we have done, we saw that it was quite easier for the teachers to make conclusions based on the qualitative data rather than the quantitative ones. Of course, both of them helped them, but it was easier for them to derive some like conclusions. That's why probably a good approach is that they use both qualitative and quantitative data. We have observed a lot of things related to data and how they interpret data. They need to have in mind that if they have a lot of data, there could be this problem of data deluge, meaning that they can have like so many things in mind and it will be difficult to interpret it. So they have to think always how this data will be transformed to some pedagogical actions. So, for example, they might be able to give instructions at the individual level, at the group level, or to the whole class after having the data. They need some examples of data interpretation when deriving some instructional decisions. So probably from other teachers that they found this successful, or also from researchers. They might also think about the granularity of this inquiry, meaning that are they going to reflect on a 45 minutes lesson or for a project-based learning unit of 2 weeks? Of course, it's going to be different, also the possibilities to collect data. Another thing we saw is that when they reflect on one lesson, this might inform other lessons or other tasks. It might also inform longer inquiry cycles. Like usually they collect data from the students after a semester, like a feedback questionnaire. And after doing one inquiry in a lesson, this might really inform this longer period. Yeah, as I told you, sharing it was really valuable in our case. So you could see teachers like, for example, from history to biology, although they are teaching different subjects, when they reflected on, okay, how students can collaborate, oh, they said, okay, this also works in my classroom. So although they are having different subjects, they can identify common issues. So sometimes we involve them in collaborative discussions on, okay, we have this case and we have this data, we formulate this new teaching action, what do you think? Then we had multiple ideas about one problem. We started with about 35 teachers, but the 19 of them were able to implement it in the classroom. But even the ones that they didn't implement, when they gave feedback to each other in a workshop, their view was very valuable. Another thing we saw is that the ones that they decided to devote time to do all this cycle, it was really very informative for the whole group of teachers. So even if one managed to do it, or is able to do it, or two, three, it would be really valuable for the others.